Josh Ajayi, and Trey Mitchell. 5 seniors on the floor for the Jaguars, who are in white tonight. LaSalle in the dark blue, and we're underway in the Gulf Coast Showcase Championship game. Our officials tonight, Rick Crawford, Brent Hampton, and Marcus Pettigrew. It'll be South Alabama to start. Here's Josh Ajayi getting the handoff from Lott. Now it's Lott underneath. He can't get it to fall. Loose ball on the floor. 2 bodies were touching the baseline, and LaSalle gets possession. Just like that. 24 seconds into the game, Saul Peary comes out of the game, and Ayinde Hakeem checks in.
Not sure what could have transpired in 24 seconds. Nevertheless, we got a change on the LaSalle side.
That was Spencer handing to Beatty. Now Hakeem getting a screen from Croswell. Into the corner, Isaiah Dees. Beatty kicks it back out. Dees thought about it, now fires. And the rebound, Croswell had it for a moment. It was tapped out of bounds. This is something we've seen from Ed Croswell, his ability to get loose under the rim and wreak havoc on the offensive glass.
Croswell is their go-to guy when it comes to rebounding. It's not their strength. They've been out-rebounded all season long, and it's something South Alabama does very well. So they'll need to pick up the pace against the glass if they want a chance here.
Hakeem, he feeds Croswell down low. Spencer tries a 3. It's around and out, and Mitchell chases down the rebound and wins possession.
2 early threes from LaSalle. They're top 50 in the nation when it comes to threes per game. They average just over 9 3-pointers. First 2 don't fall, but don't expect them to go away from their bread and butter.
This is the second all-time meeting between South Alabama and LaSalle, the first coming back in November of 2017, a game that LaSalle won by 8 points. Saul Peary scored 14 points and had 10 rebounds in that game. Isaiah Dees scored 15. Mitchell gets inside to the rim for 2.
Trey Mitchell, just such a great, versatile player. Excellent on defense and displaying on offense his ability to go to the basket and take a little contact, no foul, but finish strong.
Peary right back into the game. Drives baseline. Dees scoots inside, lost the handle, and a whistle and a foul. Lott, the guilty party.
Isaiah Dees with his 12 points in the first game, led all Explorers, then took a bit of a backseat yesterday. Only had 5, went 0 for 1 from deep.
Peary will pull up from distance. Kaboom! Saul Peary gets LaSalle scoring started with what else but a 3.
That's what they do best. They are shooting above 40% beyond the arc this tournament.
Underneath, I believe it was Lott. Yeah, he threw it away. Ajayi couldn't handle the pass. Herb McGee into the game as well. Peary finds Croswell. Recovers nicely. Bodying with Ajayi. 2 big men down there. Peary will take an NBA distance 3 and cash it. 2 buckets for Peary. They're both triples.
And South Alabama knew this coming into the game. LaSalle is going to shoot the long ball. Did not make the first few, but Saul Peary getting back on pace with a couple of beautiful deep shots. And the Explorers grab an early 6-2 lead.
On Monday's win versus Murray State, LaSalle shot it at 46% from distance. They knocked down 13 triples. Here's Mitchell over Peary. Beatty with the rebound. Dees will try to keep it going. make it 3. And Richie Riley wants timeout.
When it rains, it pours. 3 early threes for LaSalle. Peary knocking down.
But when the shots aren't falling,
it can get ugly.
It becomes more difficult. Now we've seen so far, LaSalle has been able to stick with it and weather the storm. We'll see if South Alabama makes some adjustments defensively.
LaSalle lacks the kind of player who can drive the paint and kind of create separation, a smaller guard. They don't really have that. They got a lot of bigger players that can shoot from the perimeter.
Ajayi hands to Lott, who pulls up from the free throw line, and that's a big bucket to stop the 9-0 run.
Chad Lott has been the steadiest diet for South Alabama this tournament. Opened up with 19 points in game 1 and added an extra one the next day, had 20.
To go along with 10 rebounds. Croswell bangs in against Ajayi. These two are going to be going at it all night, and Croswell wins the battle.
And this is where LaSalle can get dangerous. Croswell doing some dirty work early on, and they missed him in yesterday's win. And keep in mind, that was a game they won, thanks to Brandon Stone coming off the bench with a career-high 17 points. But Croswell does the bulk of his damage down low, and you see why there.
Now that's the old-fashioned 3. 12 points on essentially 4 buckets. Andre Fox sends it out to McGee, and that one got away from him.
This could not have gotten off to a better start for LaSalle. They're making their shots, and South Alabama does not look like the team we have seen the last 2 days, Spence.
That'll take us to our first timeout. LaSalle with an has contributed with a 3 of his own. We see our first set of substitutions for South Alabama. It's just 1. It's Tyreek LeCure, number 4, who comes into the game with a full head of hair. Out of the timeout. Tough to make an adjustment if you're South Alabama to this point, Matthew. They've defended pretty well. So far, LaSalle just knocking down their shots.
One of them from NBA distance, another one here from deep, and there's just nothing you can do for LeCure there.
I'll double back. That time, LeCure's got to get out on his man. He decided to wait back to see if he would drive, and the way they're shooting the ball, no, they're not driving right now. Back-to-back threes make for very quick 6-0 runs. Trying to feed the big man. Good footwork from Ajayi, and he almost finished it.
Looking for the roll, but talking about South Alabama's defense, if you look at the last 2 games they have played, they opened up with a win over Northeastern, who had a very dangerous scoring threat in Jordan Rowland, and then you go to Miami, and they had a very dangerous player in Nike Sabandi. This is the first time all tournament they're playing a team that doesn't have that it guy. They've got 5 guys that can shoot across the board.
Josh Ajayi scored 14 points, grabbed 10 boards against Northeastern on Monday night. Then last night, 21 points, including the most vicious slam of the tournament.
Top 10 ESPN play.
Ajayi cashes in on the free throws. Peary thought about it. Croswell gets position and scores inside. Got on the inside edge.
Croswell that time just getting inside between his defender and the basket. Beautiful feed, spins and goes to the hoop.
Ajayi will step back, and he walked in the process.
Yeah, it's an easy call for him. Official sees a couple feet shuffle.
Richie Riley having a word with his big man. There's a culture that Riley has built here already in his second season.
It's the first time South Alabama has really been punched in the mouth like this to start the tournament.
Croswell wants it on the low block. Instead, Beatty takes it on himself. Now Croswell backing down Ajayi. These two battling all night here in the first half. Croswell hits the deck. The Jaguars come the other way. Ajayi pulls up. Trying to go toe for toe with the Explorers. Dees backs away again. His third of the half. And the lead stretches to 14.
South Alabama's got to start playing better on the perimeter. You know what LaSalle wants to do. Stop believing that they're going to start missing. And you got to get out there and make it happen. Put a hand in their face and make these shots way more contested.
Mitchell slips it to Ajayi, and that's an idea of what he can do.
Great awareness by Mitchell. He'll drive in the paint, get all eyes on him, sees his man in the low post, flips it over Ajayi, slams it down. And now you see, look how much closer his defender is. Especially has a lot less room to pull up and shoot if he wanted to.
You can see the South Alabama bodies now playing up above the three-point line.
Mitchell's got a hand on his guy.
Dees decides to slash inside. Tough shot. Ajayi there to suction the rebound. Here comes Mitchell in the corner to Andre Fox. Can't get it to go.
But look at the result of just that one defensive possession. They constantly have a hand on their man, and it forces Dees to take a contested fadeaway shot that won't go.
Croswell against Ajayi, spinning, twirling, and he walked with it.
That's going to be a battle all night long. Ajayi and Croswell, keep an eye on it. Croswell comes out now for Stone. And Brandon Stone went off for 17 points. The 6'11 freshman from Pennsylvania.
Brandon Stone was really impressive yesterday.
Salle coming out with some pressure.
Here's Mitchell. Now Lott from the free throw line. His spot, too strong. Rebound hauled down by Sharif Kenny, who's also into the game, along with Christian Ray, number 3. Looking for Jared Kimbrough down low, number 24, and Mitchell sends it back. We know he can do that.
The kitchen is closed.
Extra pass to the corner. It's McGee for 3.
And this is what South Alabama does so well. They use their defense to turn it into offense. The rejection on one end from Mitchell, and McGee in the corner wide open.
That was last touched by Hakeem. LeCure forcing the turnover in the backcourt, and that takes us to a timeout.
Good timeout by Howard. He just needs to calm his troops down. They got a 9-point lead. No reason to panic just because South Alabama has woken up.
To try to make an impact as the Bahamas.
Out of the timeout, South Alabama forced a turnover to get the ball back. They set it up for Andre Fox, and he's got a wide open look, and he's fouled by Kenny. That'll be 3 free throws for Andre Fox.
South Alabama out of the break, deciding if LaSalle wants to go bombs away, we can do that too. Draws up an excellent play, and Andre Fox, a good shooter. 14 points yesterday, 0 for 3 beyond the arc though.
Redshirt senior who scored 11 points on Monday, 14 yesterday. He scored 20 or more points 17 times in his career. He really has a knack for scoring, of course, transferring from High Point out of the Big South Conference. He's a 1,000-point scorer in his career. Cashes in all 3 free throws.
His 16.3 points per game this season is the second best on the team behind Chad Lott, just averaging a hair more at 16.6.
Hakeem has it stolen away by Lott. Mitchell's ahead of the pack. And Spencer adjusted the shot. Well done.
Great defense. Mitchell has to convert.
Jaguars, though, with a renewed sense of energy on the defensive end.
They're not giving their man any room out on the perimeter.
Looking for Stone now with the mismatch over LeCure. That was too easy.
It's about a foot difference between Stone and LeCure. It was just a accident waiting to happen from South Alabama's defense.
Now Mitchell. LeCure steps back, fires away. The rebound taken down by Lott, but he couldn't save it.
Unlucky from Lott, trying to find a man. Headed off the back of the backboard.
Halfway through this first half. Salle got off to the early start. Stone, I believe, set the illegal screen. That's what they're going to whistle, and he's saying, what did I do?
Been a relatively clean game so far for both sides. That's only the 6th combined foul.
Jaguars taking their time. Ajayi surveys the field. Eight on the shot clock now. LeCure to his left finds Ajayi, who finishes and has a chance for a three-point play.
This is a great play by LeCure. He'll drive in, get two explorers' attention, and then watch Ajayi on the backside. Just feel the pressure and see the space, slip in. Excellent pass, good finish by Ajayi, drawing contact with it.
And for as well as LaSalle has shot the ball from distance in this first half, I think we can say South Alabama has been equally efficient under the hoop.
That's where they want to do the bulk of their damage. They're not the best perimeter shooting team, but they'll get in and they'll draw contact and they'll finish plays. Not that time, though. An opportunity to make it a three-point play. We'll stick with just two.
Peary's already got a couple of long balls tonight. Kenny drives in, and that's a forceful layup from Sharif Kenny, who led the team with 15 points on day one.
This is what LaSalle will have to do. If South Alabama's going to take away a lot of their three-point shooting, they have to be able to adapt and drive into the lane.
There's Mitchell from the top. Things usually tend to progress well when it's in his hands. 6 on the shot clock now. Fox dribbles into traffic, takes a tough baseline jumper. Kenny comes away with the ball.
Not the best look right there from Fox. He'll drive into traffic, like you said, where there's already another defender in the area, making life even more difficult for him.
Explorers content to work the perimeter. Peary has loads of space. You can't give him that much room. He's lucky he didn't get a technical, too, as he stared down LeCure after knocking down the shot. That's his third three. The Explorers are 6 of 8 from distance.
South Alabama needs to do a better job of recognizing screens at the top of the key. They're going to turn into quick threes.
Ajayi will send it back out for Fox.
Fox had a good look there, opted not to take it.
5 on the shot clock, gotta move quickly. Lott swirls inside, off the glass, no, and Peary comes away with the rebound. Spencer around a screen. Kenny will spot up. Bingo!
I mean, at what point is South Alabama going to learn? You just can't give them space on the edge. Don't worry about helping out inside. Worry about your guy on the outside.
Make it 7 for 9. That's 78%. Ajayi sees an open Fox in the corner. Croswell gets the rebound. Peary will try that drive inside.
South Alabama just not having the luck they would have liked from deep. Only 1 for 5.
Croswell thinks he's a guard and dribbles his way right in and scores.
This is the element Croswell brings to the LaSalle offense. It's down low, and it's in the paint, and it's going up against their big guy, pound for pound, and getting the best of him there.
Fox wants the foul call. Took a lot of contact. LaSalle has a chance to break this thing open. They lead it by 16.
They're on a 10-0 run.
They've hit each of their last 5 shots as Peary looks inside. Now Croswell on the low block. A whistle and a foul on Ajayi is his second. That takes us to a timeout. LaSalle has extended their lead here in the first half, and South Alabama has a lot of work to do.
Well, South Alabama may not have the offensive spark to start matching their threes. They can turn defense into offense by not that time.
That's a really well-designed out-of-bounds play. Richie Riley is frustrated with his side defensively.
He can't really believe what he's seeing.
Lott backs in, spins, tough shot, got it to go. That puts a halt to a 12-0 run.
Good scorers have the ability to just feel when a shot needs to be made to get their side back in it, no matter how difficult it may be.
Finally, LaSalle misses a 3. Mitchell, extra pass. LeCure barrels inside, kicks it back out. Mitchell goes up, soft touch. Back-to-back buckets causes Ashley Howard to call time.
Ashley Howard wants to regroup with his side and just say, guys, settle down here on defense. We know what they want to do. LeCure wants to drive in and kick it out.
Patience as a coach. You see the transition now into year 2 for Howard and his Explorers. He always told his staff, his players, and himself to keep things in perspective. Understand and recognize small victories when you can. He said you want to win every game, but with a young team, you can lose a game and still get better in that loss. And so far here in this tournament, they've won both of their games.
They've really taken a huge leap forward, and it's fueled by their three-point shot. Especially in the age of college basketball where the three-point shot may be declining due to its pushback, literally, over a foot. LaSalle's not fazed by it.
Yeah, don't tell them the three-point line has been pushed back. They're firing on all cylinders. Mainly just one cylinder. Beatty, though, was pretty far off with that one.
Beatty was, but he still had a pretty uncontested and good look.
John Petway into the game, trying to get his side some extended minutes off the bench.
Bit of weaving from South Alabama.
McGee draws the foul. Herb McGee, who got the start on day 1, already has a 3 to his name today. He's somebody who can go off at times. He hasn't really exploded the way that Richie Riley would like him to so far this season. He's scored 10 points on 14 occasions. He started 26 games last year. He was 3rd on the team in threes. 1 for 2 from the line that time. He played in 6 state title games in high school. 5 in basketball, 1 in 8th grade, and 1 state title game in football.
Do we have his record?
On the state title games?
Yeah.
He's got 3 consecutive state titles in basketball.
That's special. Final 4 minutes of the first half, and this is an important 4 minutes for South Alabama especially, but for LaSalle, they can't slack here and just think they can put themselves in cruise control. This is a South Alabama team that's won 2 games this tournament, and they'll show you why as
Mitchell. He thought he got fouled. Instead, he got swatted from behind.
He just got stripped here. He's left all alone, drives in, and the chase down block.
All ball. Takes us to break. Lead is 13. Championship game featuring LaSalle and South Alabama. LaSalle came out hot shooting, but South Alabama hasn't gone away yet, Matthew.
They haven't gone away, and what's fueling them is that defense. Well, they may not be great on the perimeter right now, which is giving up a bulk of their 34 points allowed. If they can get LaSalle to come back to earth a little bit on that distance shooting, this is going to become a lot closer of a game.
10 on the shot clock out of the timeout. Lott looking for Mitchell. Got to move quickly. 3 to shoot. McGee floats it up and misses it short. Jared Kimbrough the rebound.
You have to tip your hat towards LaSalle's defense. They've come to play today. Just watch South Alabama try and penetrate into the paint, but the Explorers defense keeping them outside, and that's not where South Alabama plays their best offense. They are not the greatest perimeter shooting team.
Peary left alone. He went to ground. He's got to be careful. He wasn't fouled.
A couple of recent misses from the Explorers have opened the door for the Jaguars to get back in it. They need to make a move on this.
Petway sees an opening, and he just lost the handle. Under 3 to play in the first half.
Look how careful LaSalle's being with the ball. They're not going to do any risky passes. They don't want to give South Alabama any breaks.
Just the 5th foul of the half on South Alabama. They've been able to defend for the most part without fouling. That's because LaSalle hasn't driven the lane all that often.
They've kept themselves away from the basket, but they're up 13 here with 2:36 to go, and they're not in any urgency to start driving themselves towards the hoop. They are beyond content with letting the clock tickle down a little bit, and then they'll get a look up with 4 or 5 seconds on the shot clock. You got 3 guys beyond the arc just playing with each other.
Kenny drives inside and throws it away. Mitchell now leads the charge all the way in. Trey Mitchell will go to the free throw line.
And just when LaSalle deviated for what was working with them, they drove in, and a costly turnover can turn into 2 points for South Alabama if Mitchell knocks these down.
Mitchell, who we talked about yesterday, averaging 2 blocks per game last year, has continued that trend. 3 more blocks yesterday, 14 points in each of the first 2 games. Third team all Sun Belt selection last year.
Nearly a 4.5-minute scoring drought for the Explorers, and a nice poke away there by Petaway. Gives it up. McGee doesn't like the shot. He'll hold on to it.
Getting it down to single digits could mean a lot to the Jaguars. And Ajayi was certainly shoved in the back. Lott frustrated under the basket. That's free throws, though. Ashley Howard not pleased with the call, but I don't know. To me, that looked an awful lot like Ajayi was fouled.
This was an issue LaSalle got themselves in yesterday. Early foul trouble, 18 fouls for the Jaguars. I beg your pardon, for the Explorers. No one really in immediate foul trouble. Dees and Stone with a pair of fouls to their name.
Front end of the 1-and-1 for Ajayi is true. He leads the way with 7 Jaguar points. Got to be careful with Ajayi at the end of this half. He does have 2 fouls, and they can't operate without him.
That one was way short. Nearly 5 minutes without a point for LaSalle. Now they want to get to the half up big, but we're going to need some offense to close it.
A whistle on McGee. That's the last foul to give for the Jaguars. McCure will come in, McGee out.
That's McGee's second foul.
Jaguars have been effective with this zone, and we've got another foul. It's LaCure this time, his first, and our first set of Explorer free throws with them in the bonus.
David Beatty, not a frequent driver to the lane, which means does not get to the free throw line all that much.
Well, the team as a whole in this first half. Croswell had the and one early in the game, and this is their first and only free throw until this point. They haven't necessarily needed the free throws. Started the first half 7 of 9 from 3. South Alabama has stayed away from the three-point line, just 1 of 5.
It's been free throws for both sides for a couple minutes now. No field goals for either team for over 5 minutes. LaCure can be a nifty point guard.
Lott fades away. He's got such a great release point. Reminds me a lot, just in terms of where he gets rid of the ball. Looks like Sean Livingston. He puts that ball way up above his head, a Richard Jefferson type, where even if you're the same size as him, you can't get to it. He's going to shoot it over you as Beatty gets right to the rim. Rebound fought for and picked up by LaCure. Shot clock is turned off. Richie Riley lets LaCure know. They'll hold for the final shot.
Huge possession right here. South Alabama with an opportunity to go into the half down by single digits. They trailed by 16 at one point. I've got to assume Chad Lott will be the one taking the final shot.
Here he is. Lott probes, kicks it back out. LaCure's got an open look for 3, missed it short. And Croswell collects the rebound. That brings us to the end of the first half. It's an 11-point LaSalle lead. At one point it was 32-16. Now 36-25. And
11 players in that last game. Meanwhile, for South Alabama, just 7 of theirs touched the court.
So the second half of the Gulf Coast Showcase Championship game. This has been an extremely fun tournament that started on Monday.
Quick 3 from the Explorers, off the mark. Tracked down by Mitchell.
And an immediate foul underneath on LaSalle against Lott.
Chad Lott to the free throw line and picking up fouls early for South Alabama. I beg your pardon, for LaSalle. Could spell doom if this Jaguar offense gets rolling and LaSalle finds himself in foul trouble, but it's no good if you're not going to make the free throws. South Alabama 8 for 13 at the charity stripe.
This is a tournament that's been going on for quite some time now, the Gulf Coast Showcase. And there's a storied history of this tournament. You go back to last season, it was a Toledo team that very well could have made the NCAA tournament. They fell short in the MAC conference tourney as Croswell gets underneath and does his thing. It's Croswell once again.
Croswell just left alone in the paint, and he's able to do his thing, which really adds another dimension to the LaSalle offense. They're not going to be just stuck to the three-point shooting with Croswell down low.
Croswell with his second and one, and he can't convert the second one. The second place finisher in last year's tournament, UC Irvine, made their way to the NCAA tournament out of the Big West, a 13 seed. Last year, we saw Mike Daum break the tournament record for most points over the three-game span. He scored 74 and in the process set the all-time South Dakota State scoring record. 5 on the shot clock for Fox. Backs down against Beatty. Took a lot of contact.
No help from Fox from his other 4 teammates. All of them just looking like statues, watching him do all the work.
Kenny misses long. Ajayi there for the rebound. Now here come the Jaguars. Fox will slow it down. Richie Riley calls out the play. Mitchell cuts inside on Spencer, lost it, got it back, puts it up, and gets fouled. That's the third foul already in the first minute and change. South Alabama on the front foot. When you look at early goings.
When you look at the best scorers in the game, all of them have a knack and ability to end up at the free throw line. You know, whether it's in the NBA, James Harden leads in points per games. He also has the most free throws, and it's because he knows how to draw contact, and Trey Mitchell doing a fantastic job leading on the defender and just getting the referee's whistle to be blown.
It's been really fun to watch Mitchell. He's a bouncy player. He gets it done on both ends of the floor. When he was a redshirt freshman, he shot 62% from the field, but it wasn't until he was named a starter that he really turned it into gear. After he was named a starter that season, he shot 70%.
Those are difficult numbers to come up with.
Only player in the history of the school to lead the team in rebounds, assists, steals, and blocks. Croswell left alone in no man's land. Kenny drives inside, and a foul before the shot. Whistled against McGee. That's his third.
Croswell had a great look at the hoop, and no one came out to pressure him. Shocked he didn't just rise up and shoot it.
Peary inside, and he couldn't get the and one to drop.
Saul Peary had 3 threes in the first half, and telling the defense, I can get it done down low too.
And McGee just picked up his 4th foul. That's a bad foul for McGee. Just moments after picking up his 3rd. That'll send LeCure into the game, and Tyreek LeCure is now called into action. He'll need to play some extended minutes with McGee at 4 fouls with 18 minutes to go.
McGee not having the best scoring tournament. He had 7 points in his first game and 3 yesterday.
Fox resets from the top of the key.
No movement from South Alabama's side with 10 seconds to go. Now we get a screen.
Fox cuts inside. A lot of contact again. This time he scores off glass.
When you average 16 points per game, Spence, you're able to do things like that. Had nothing going offensively, just went to the hoop and good things happen.
Lead is down to 10.
Here's that zone defense.
Spencer had it knocked away. Ajayi comes up with the loose ball. Mitchell to the corner. Fox, a triple. Yes, sir.
And the zone defense dramatically helping out the offense. They're going to do a 3-2 defense. 3 down low, 2 up top. It appears now they're switching back to a man. They're just giving a lot of, nope, back to their zone defense. And LaSalle needs to work around. The best way to beat a zone is with off-ball movement.
A lot of stagnation as Beatty tries to come up with a triple. That is a held ball on the possession arrow. They'll give it to the Jaguars.
LaSalle needs to create some movement to beat the zone and force South Alabama to reconsider. Coach Ashley Howard talked at halftime about the difficulties for their offense dealing with that zone. With 16 minutes to go, that's plenty of time for South Alabama to get back in this game.
7-point game, the closest it's been since about the 10-minute mark of the first half. Fox probes inside, steps away, and knocks down the jumper. Andre Fox with back-to-back buckets.
And he's doing it all on his own. Gets a screen, but for the most part, just with the hand in the face, able to get the shot off.
He's got a team-high 9. Christian Ray in the corner.
And that's been the strength of South Alabama. Not just one player doing it, but a whole team effort. Defense turned to offense. Mitchell gives it up.
Lott goes up. He gets fouled. 2 more free throws and a chance to cut it to a 1-possession game. It's a 7-0 South Alabama run. They'll try to add to it when we come back. Championship game of the GCS. Back here in Estero, South Alabama has cut the deficit down to 5. They haven't gotten this close since the initial run at the start of the game. That was when LaSalle, as Lott knocks down the first of 2 free throws, got out to an early 20-6 run. This is as close as it's been since then. 2 free throws from Lott. It's a 3-point game. At one point, it was 32-16.
And LaSalle's offense just getting 8 points off after that zone defense switch. Referee ushering South Alabama bench, just take it down a notch.
Beatty drives baseline, backs away over Fox. There's Mitchell to secure the board. A chance to tie.
And you get the feel, though, that LaSalle's offense is going to start getting back on that 3 rein that they jumped out to early in the game, which could be making this a little more interesting.
Mitchell spins inside. Hakeem thought he got all ball. Referee says otherwise. 2 more free throws coming.
Current 9-0 run for the Jaguars. Meanwhile, LaSalle without a point in nearly 3 minutes.
And Mitchell has been solid so far today. 3 rebounds, 2 assists, now 8 points. And you look at the free throw numbers for South Alabama, it's starting to look good. 14 of 19 from the line, and everybody's getting involved.
He's just so consistent, though, Spence. 14 points in both games, a double-digit score night in and night out. LaSalle doing a good job of moving the ball around. Just got to find an open look now.
That's a near turnover, and in fact it is. Nobody on the Jaguars touched it, and South Alabama with a bucket can take the lead.
Just a miscommunication. Hakeem thought Stone was going to be somewhere. He issues my bad on that.
This is one thing that LaSalle still has to learn to do, and that's play with a big lead early. This is a young team. The Jaguars, a much more experienced side. Lott backs in on Ray. 8 on the shot clock. Fox will rise and hit and one.
This game has turned around.
The Jaguars got the first bucket of the game. They led it 2-0. It's the first time since then that they've taken the lead.
Drawing the contact, and that's what has been the biggest enemy for LaSalle on defense. They keep extending themselves and adding on these extra bonus free throws for the Jaguars.
Fox completes the first 4-point play of the tournament.
15-0 run for South Alabama. They need to go in the paint, and Coach Howard wants to talk things over.
The Jaguars have stormed all the way back from the depths in the championship game of the Gulf Coast Showcase. We'll take a break and bring it on back. Back in Estero, Matthew Peterson, is there anything that you can point to over the last 5 minutes that has led to this 15-0 South Alabama run?
It's by South Alabama sticking to the game plan. You never saw them panic in the second half and start shooting unorthodox or uncharacteristic deep shots as that ball is poked away from Stone.
Numbers for the Jaguars. Mitchell slides inside. It's a 17-0 run.
And South Alabama, to answer your question, using defense to create offense. It's a broken record for me, but it's so true.
Kimbrough, high-low. Trying to feed Stone in the middle. Peary will take a long three. That's off the mark. And an over-the-back foul whistled against Ray.
I don't hate that shot from Peary because you were feeling it in the first half, but if you've gotten cold, then allow your team to drive into the lane, and two things can happen. You can draw some contact and potentially get a foul, which translates to free throws, or you can draw the defense in and play a little inside out.
Boy, credit goes to the Jaguars the way they've come back into this game, now into the bonus. As Mitchell went for the rebound, he rattles in the front end of the 1-and-1. The Jaguars are shooting free throws the rest of the way.
But don't be fooled. With 13 minutes to go and a little more, this LaSalle team will get on a roll and they'll find their groove once again. They had it in the first half, just 4 points through nearly 7 minutes.
Kenny lost the handle, he got bumped.
And there it is. You see, you drive into the lane, you draw contact, just get free throws to get the monkey off of your back of that 18-0 run. Get rid of that O and then start to get yourself in a little bit of a jive.
Really, you know, you see 40 on the board for LaSalle, and yeah, they did have 36 points at the half as the drought continues. But the Explorers had 32 points at the 6-minute mark of the first half. And it's been all downhill from there.
South Alabama just chipped away in the end of the first half to get back in it and exploded to start the second.
Mitchell left all alone, and he couldn't knock it down. Rebound hits the deck, and a second chance for the Jaguars.
And this is one of South Alabama's greatest strengths, rebounding. And coincidentally, it's one of LaSalle's biggest weaknesses. No Croswell on the court either for LaSalle. He's their big guy down low who they rely on for those rebounds.
Ray met Lott at the top of that release, and it's a held ball, which gives LaSalle possession once again.
It's up to LaSalle to find a way to manufacture some offense. There's not that one go-to guy who can spark the offense. It's a team here, and I mean that with full sincerity. It's a team offense. Each one relies on the other.
I need somebody to step up and hit a shot. Under 13 to play. Dees had a couple in the first half. Kenny probably got away with the travel, and he goes in and scores, and that puts the halt to the run.
You had the 3-point earlier going for you. Now you don't so much, so be able to adapt and react to what the defense is giving you.
Fox just threw it away. That's a bad turnover. And then Ray turns it over right back. Lott up ahead for 2.
Chad Lott, excellent finish, great roll. South Alabama answers with the turnover of their own.
Keep in mind, the Explorers shot it at 77% in the early goings from distance. 7 of their first 9. LeCure in the corner will bring it back out.
You just got the feel that they would not be able to sustain that due to what you like to say, the law of averages. And South Alabama knew that, and they didn't get away from their game plan. They stayed relaxed and kept doing what they wanted to do in this game, which was defense first.
LeCure, that's short. I believe, indeed, Jai tapped it out. So LaSalle gets possession back. We'll have it for you when we return. It's a 5-point game. Now South Alabama in control, but LaSalle not going anywhere. Most since 2013. Now this year, everybody returns who produced with Mitchell, Ajayi. He says there's room to get better, both in this game and throughout the season. We've seen how you can turn things around pretty quickly, perhaps a microcosm of what's to come.
You absolutely can when you let your defense just stick to the game plan and not deviate because of a couple early threes, and trust your guns and trust your guys.
A lot of transfers on this team. 6 transfers getting playing time, or maybe lack thereof, for the Jaguars as Dees plows inside. That's tapped out of bounds. Croswell couldn't save it. Talking about those transfers, I asked Coach Riley, with so many, is it hard to make everybody happy with their roles right away? And he said, look, we do a really good job of recruiting transfers, and we're honest and upfront with them. Quickly ahead of the pack, Ajayi will head to the free throw line. Richie Riley said that in his 4 years as a head coach, he's signed 15 transfers, which is without a doubt among one of the top numbers in the country over 4 years. You don't sign 3-4 transfers a year.
Right, usually you get 1, maybe 2 sometimes.
He says, we do have a good mix of high school kids, but transfers have been our brand, and we recruit with a plan. We don't mix it all together. And he says he wants those transfers like Andre Fox, who's come in and contributed this year. We want them to understand their role and be comfortable with it as soon as the season starts. It's all about being upfront and honest. He's starting to build a winning culture in South Alabama, something they haven't had in Mobile for quite some time.
He's laying down some great building blocks to get that winning culture back to the team. It's been a long time since the Jaguars have had a successful season. They're looking poised to make a run to the Sun Belt Conference Championship this year.
Croswell underneath, hounded by a double team, tries to toss it off of a defender out of bounds, instead gives it up. Fox skirts inside and gets to the line once again. They are attacking the basket now and being rewarded with free throw after free throw.
The Jaguars are just pouring salt on the wound by exploiting what LaSalle is doing, which is just fouling. I mean, it's plain and simple like that. The referees are going to continue to call it. And why stop if it's working? Don't fix what's not broken.
Scott Spencer back in after Christian Ray gave the Explorers about 6-7 minutes of run. Fox splits the free throws.
With Croswell back in for LaSalle, expect them to try and feed him down in the post.
Dees drives, pulls up, pops, and drops a two-pointer.
Explorers have to wake up a little bit. This went from them trailing by 1 or 2 to it's a 6-point game, not in their favor.
Mitchell kicks it into the corner. Great ball movement, and then Fox shuffled his feet. Indeed, he did.
And at this point, LaSalle will take every break they can get. David Beatty checks out of the game. He was one of their better offensive players, and coming in for him, it's Sharif Kenny, who went off for 15 points in the first game, but quiet the next day, held to just 2.
Croswell whips it out to Spencer. That's short. Lott the rebound.
And I'm not opposed to these deeper three-point shots. It went so well for you in the first half, and a great way to erase a deficit. It's going a quick 6-0 run, which Spence, as you like to say, just back-to-back threes.
That's all a 6-0 run is. No reason to panic if you're LaSalle. This end of the floor is still very important. Fox will make it much more difficult. Timeout, Richie Riley, after Fox nails a 3. He's going to settle his team into this lead now. A 9-point advantage. The Jaguars are rolling. We welcome you back to Estero, not too far from Fort Myers. It is time for the YMCA. There it is.
And at the moment, that's what LaSalle needs to do on defense. Just put their hands up. Try and get some turnovers forced.
Kid's got a bright future. Dees will pull up. Just hasn't gone down. Now here in the second half, LaSalle 0 for 6 from 3.
And LaSalle just in a bit of a culture shock, because the first 2 games they shot over 40% from beyond the arc. In this half for the Explorers, they're shooting 0 for 6.
Oh, that's a ball that Dees would have shot. Instead, he passed it up. Mitchell ahead of the pack, had it knocked away. That's a great defensive play. And Lott still takes advantage and makes him pay. It's a double-digit South Alabama lead. This is a stunning second half.
They're outscoring the Explorers by 20 points this half. It's a 31-9 opening second half for South Alabama.
Ajayi just got whistled for his 3rd foul, something to keep your eye on. They got away from Croswell down low. He's got 9 points on 4 of 6 shooting to go along with 9 rebounds. One
of South Alabama's Achilles heel is just not going to their bench nearly as much as the Explorers do, and finally LaSalle buys a 3-point shot.
And there's Spencer knocking down the first of the half. That'll, for the time being, at least cut the bleeding. It's down to 8.
And look at the pressure.
8 minutes to play.
Look at the pressure LaSalle's now putting on South Alabama, meeting them at half court, and a big block there. And here come the Explorers.
Time for LaSalle to run. Kenny lobs it for Spencer.
Great idea.
And he was blocked at the baseline by Ajayi, and there you go. That's his 4th. All of a sudden, Josh Ajayi is in foul trouble, and he's been really big for South Alabama down low. We'll see if Richie Riley decides to keep him in the game when we come back. Wherever you are, however you may be tuning in, we certainly appreciate you making the Gulf Coast Showcase a part of your Wednesday night, along with Matthew Peterson and the rest of our BD Global and Flow Hoops crew. Spencer Siegel with you tonight. LaSalle trying to answer. Croswell is rejected by Mitchell. He's got his 2nd block.
Just such a dynamic defensive player. You see why he led the team in blocks last season, but adding that offensive element is what makes him so much of an intangible player for this Jaguars team.
LaSalle has dropped back into a high zone as well. Mitchell pushes it towards LeCure. He misses short on his 3. That's his 2nd that he's missed short.
What's crazy is that LaSalle is trailing despite leading South Alabama. The 3 there can't fall.
How about
rebound
Croswell?
From Croswell?
What a beast on the boards. That rebound and bucket gives him a double-double. Croswell now with 11 points, 12 boards. He's been huge for them in this tournament.
He's been keeping them alive recently. But as I was saying, LaSalle out shooting on the floor, out shooting beyond the arc, but the difference being is free throws. And right there, LaSalle adds one, but South Alabama shooting 20 for 27. LaSalle, 7 for 9. You go to the free throw line just 9 times, you're not going to win most games.
They've cut the deficit to 5. Fox had it kicked by Croswell. It will stay here. Shot clock back to 20. 6 minutes, 47 seconds. It's a lot of time. John Petway back in. And somebody left him wide open, but he decides to reset. Mitchell rises and couldn't knock it down.
No Josh Ajayi on the court for LaSalle. He's got 4 fouls to his name. And LaSalle with an opportunity to add to their 6-0 run, make it 8-0.
There's Dees. Richie Riley wants time.
You knew LaSalle was going to wake up and come back in this game. Here come the Explorers. They're discovering new ways to cut into that deficit.
At this time slot, 7:30. Meanwhile, South Alabama has slowly climbed the time slot ranks. Their 11 a.m. win over Northeastern. The semifinal win yesterday at 5 o'clock over Miami. Both victories were by double digits. Now they find themselves up 3 with a chance to close things out. You know, we're headed down to the wire tonight. Fox nearly lost it.
Great pressure by South Alabama. I beg your pardon, by LaSalle on defense.
LaCure gets inside, floats it up and in. A big shot from LaCure, the freshman.
That's kind of the danger of playing out and way out against the perimeter. Is there's a lot of open space in the middle. You can get behind that wall. You're home free.
Having to deal with another zone, and Peary doesn't care. Saul Peary with his 4th 3. Every single one of his shots have come from distance. He's now 4 for 6.
Just their second three-pointer of the half, though.
Croswell got caught in the air and tried to recover. Lott with a really nice pump fake.
Ajayi back on the court for South Alabama with those 4 fouls. You've got to wonder if LaSalle's going to attack him.
That's a blocking foul and free throws. It'll be a 1-and-1 for Isaiah Dees.
Isaiah Dees on the season. Not a frequent free throw shooter, as you could imagine. Only his team's 10th free throw shot of the game. 2 for 7 entering the tournament.
7 for 15 now on the season. He shot it better than average this week. Isaiah Dees wants an extra hand to help wipe up the wet spot by the free throw line. This is where we get everybody's feet involved.
Everybody doing their part to get that court back to game condition.
Dees, a senior, played a year of prep ball at Coastal Academy in New Jersey, where his team went 28-6, and he says, you know what, just the heck, we're going to do it myself.
Dees just takes over for the towel boy.
Finished his high school career at Thomas Jefferson in Brooklyn.
There's some major wet spots on the court.
Gotten it sorted out. Front end of the 1-and-1. Nothing but twine.
What a huge make for Isaiah Dees. Even though his team has not made a lot of trips to the free throw line, they've been successful. They're 8 for 10 now.
So Dees makes it a 2-point game. Another high zone press from the Explorers. Fox looking for help.
Ajayi begging for the ball.
And he touched it last, and now Ajayi goes over to Fox and says, you can't force that one. Just give me an extra half second to establish position.
Yeah, that pass came just a little late. Ajayi calling for it. Fox did not see the opening until it was closed.
Dees rises. That one off the mark. Rebound picked up by Mitchell. Cuts through the defense. Feeds LeCure. Tries a three. That one offline. Now Dees will run.
And LaSalle in transition is what they do best. They get open looks down low, cutting man.
Spencer got position, a beautiful cut, and Kenny with the feed. We're square at 60.
The Explorers are right back in this game.
This is the first time we've been tied since it was 0-0.
It's been a game of runs for both sides, and right now the run is in the Explorers' favor.
Another steal. Under 4 to play.
LaSalle connecting on 4 of their last 5 shots.
Croswell will bang against Ajayi, who has 4 fouls. Croswell scores. Ajayi had to stay straight up. He did. And LaSalle has regained the lead.
You could just tell Ajayi wanted to be more physical, but with those 4 fouls, he knows it's best to just lay off and keep your hands up. Look at this defense from LaSalle, just meeting the guards, the ball carrier at half court. Not giving them any room to breathe.
No movement, 5 on the shot clock. Fox kicks it to LeCure. He's got to hit one, right? He does! And one!
You knew
Sharif
LeCure was
Kenny
due.
Is pleading with the official that LeCure stuck his foot out.
Hopefully we can get a look at it.
LeCure gives South Alabama the lead. Tyreek LeCure trying to complete a 4-point play. Got to look at the replay. As he came down, Sharif Kenny made contact with his right foot.
How did we shoot 2? It should have been a 4-point play. The 3-pointer was good. Why did we just shoot 2 free throws?
I didn't quite get a look at it. I thought that it was a shooting foul. They counted the bucket. We'll have an answer for you momentarily. Kenny driving inside in the meantime, and he gets bumped.
Is that just a mistake on the errors? We had 2 free throws after a good 3-point shot. Maybe the first ever 5-point play.
It's indeed what it turned into.
On the scoreboard, and that's what matters.
Unless they called the foul after the shot, that is possible. It was when LeCure came down, and that would result in 2 free throws. Nonetheless, we play on. Under 3 minutes to go. Kenny trying to atone for the foul. He calmly sinks 2, and LeCure will come back into the game. As it relates to the foul game, Herb McGee, who just checked out, he's got 4. Josh Ajayi, number 33 in white, also has 4. Nobody with 4 fouls for LaSalle, but Dees, Croswell, and Stone each have 3.
And this is a South Alabama team that does not go very deep into their bench. We've seen primarily just 6 players today, with LeCure being the guy coming off of the bench and Petaway for just 6 minutes.
Fox has been operating from the far side. He scoots inside, misses the floater, and LaSalle down 1 has a chance to take the lead. It's Spencer, and he can't get it done, and Ajayi rips down the rebound.
Croswell getting his hand in there, though. He leads his side with 11 rebounds. His team has 27. Meanwhile, South Alabama held to 19.
We're in for a finish tonight. A game that's gone back and forth. LeCure short. Ajayi second chance. Mitchell's open in the corner. Fox lost it. Trey Mitchell was waiting for it. He was ready too.
Hands are up. He was ready to fire off a shot, potentially extend his team's lead.
This isn't the type of game that's had the double-digit lead changes that we've seen in this tournament. Only 4, but they've been pretty dramatic lead changes.
1 point. LaSalle led by 16 in the first half.
Kenny can't get it to fall. Croswell with another rebound. He puts it back. 16 points, 12 rebounds. Both teams have led by double digits in this game.
Both teams had felt confident. At some point, they had this game in hand. And then it's been runs and runs and runs, and that's another 3.
And Fox knocks it down and gives South Alabama a 2-point lead. Spencer trying to find a way through the zone. Dees inside with his left hand off glass, and we're tied.
LaSalle struggled to start the second half scoring, and they found success going to the bucket, and there you see why.
Jaguars can play for a 2-for-1 here. Both teams in the double bonus. LeCure sends it to Fox. He lost it, got it back. 10 on the shot clock. Into the corner. Mitchell slashes inside. Ajayi can't handle it. The shot clock and game clock are almost even, but the shot clock is not turned off. We're going to play this out. Ashley Howard chooses not to call timeout. Croswell inside, +1. It's deja vu for Ed Croswell, the game-winning bucket yesterday. Another and one, and a chance to take a 3-point lead.
The difference between yesterday and today, Spence, is about 16 seconds. South Alabama's going to have an opportunity to respond, but Croswell, a fantastic play, gets the pass in, goes up strong, takes contact, and finishes it.
Josh Ajayi picks up his 5th foul. 9 points, 8 rebounds for Ajayi. He's out of the game. Still plenty of time for South Alabama, as you mentioned. Croswell can't hit the free throw, just like yesterday.
That changes everything for South Alabama.
Richie Riley will call timeout. What a tournament. What a championship game to bring this tournament to a close. This has been one of the most closely contested tournaments in the Gulf Coast Showcase's history. And both of these teams down to
it. But if he can flip it out for 3, it's going to be Fox hanging around the corner.
Chad Lott, Trey Mitchell, Andre Fox, Herb McGee, and Tyreek LeCure. Here we go for the 2019 Gulf Coast Showcase Championship. Fox drives inside, spins, floats, and hits. 2 timeouts for LaSalle, and they choose to take one. Tied at 70.
In game number 12, Spence, you ready for some overtime?
Well, not just yet, partner. There's still 0.8 seconds left, and that's the amount of time that was on the clock yesterday after Ed Croswell hit his shot. Look, LaSalle has to go the length of the floor. Obviously, you can't advance the ball. Safe to say, if you're South Alabama, you've got to defend without fouling.
Absolutely. Just can't afford to have a touchy foul. Keep your hands to yourself with 0.8 seconds. Trust your positioning and trust the clock. If LaSalle's able to get a shot off and it goes in, so be it, but don't give them free points with a foul.
So the opportunity for the Explorers, and how fitting right now that after both teams secured double-digit leads in this game, we're tied at 70 with less than a second to go. The trigger man will be Peary, Spencer, Croswell, Dees, and Kenny on the floor. Peary, half-court heave. Fox deflects it, and we play on. 5 more minutes in the GCS Championship here in 2019.
Pick a better ending for these two teams with how even they were throughout the game, and not at the same time. That's the best part. Each team took a turn of going on a run of their own, and it all was a wash at the end. Salle with a great first half. South Alabama responded with an excellent second half. And now we're ready for period number 3.
Croswell, Kenny, Peary, Dees, and Spencer on the floor for LaSalle. And Kenny fell. LeCure touched it, so LaSalle can regain possession in their backcourt. Jaguars come out in a zone. Spencer has trouble with it. Dees elevates, missed it short, and Lott is there to tap the rebound to himself. LeCure, Lott, Fox, Mitchell, and McGee out there for the Jaguars. Fox lost it.
I'll say he just juggled the ball.
Fox probes inside with his left hand. He's got 24.
Andre Fox having a fantastic day. His career high is 27 points. He'll get close to it in the overtime period.
Now the Explorers' turn. Croswell, high-low, goes up, gets rejected. And LeCure comes away with the board. The Jaguars can pad their lead.
Expect them to take their time right now.
It's been this man. Fox uses a screen. Picks up his dribble. Now 10 to shoot. Lott is in some pain after that first screen. Ball on the deck, and it's LaSalle basketball.
A couple of banged up players on the floor right now.
I think Lott might have caught a Charlie horse, or worse. He's going to need a moment.
And it's Sharif Kenny for LaSalle, trying to get his arm loose. That left elbow giving him some issues, it appears. Players have had some real difficulties with the court today and keeping it dry.
Well, we've had a lot of bodies on the floor. Every team that we've seen going as far back as our first game today, the 7th place game between Northeastern and Weber State. It's been all-out hustle and muscle so far. Into overtime. Croswell gets the feed, and Mitchell sends it back again.
He's just so athletic. The ability to elevate without much of a run-up. Just uses his own power and shoots up like a rocket.
LeCure throws it away, and Kenny gets fouled. He'll go to the free throw line. Trey Mitchell now with 3 blocks and 3 steals on the night. Kenny took a shot. 3 of 4 from the line tonight. Now 6 of 11 on the season for Kenny. The Explorers, after this tournament, by the way, it doesn't get any easier. As Kenny goes 1 for 2. Sunday night, they play at Villanova, the former stomping grounds of their head coach, Ashley Howard.
After a gauntlet of 3 days with 3 games.
Here's Fox. Looking for space with his left hand. That's been his calling card. 26 for Fox.
Such a dynamic and dangerous scorer. Able to go from one side of the paint to the other, fading away off the glass. Excellent job by Fox.
D's looking for space. A lot of bodies in there and another whistle. That foul's on Lott. That's his fourth.
Now the question is, what is LaSalle going to do with this opportunity they have in front of them? They haven't really attacked the players in foul trouble. Herb McGee just coasting through nearly 3 minutes of overtime with 4 fouls to his name.
He's good on the first of 2. After Villanova, they go to Drexel, do the Explorers. Then 3 straight home games against Morgan State, Wagner, and Fairleigh Dickinson before going back to the Palestra to play Bucknell, a place where they lost playing the team that calls the Palestra their home, Penn, earlier in the season. Then they start A-10 play in January. A tough schedule for them this year.
Atlantic 10's going to be a very difficult conference this year.
Fox can't get it to go. And another whistle. And if that's Lott, indeed it is, he's done.
What a huge blow for South Alabama.
And it's a double whammy. It sends LaSalle to the line with a chance to take the lead.
15 points for Chad Lott, 6 of 10 on the floor, 4 rebounds. And we're going to start seeing a bench of South Alabama we had not seen. Checking in is KK Curry. Played the second game, but had not seen him in the first.
We saw Curry play 2 minutes in game number 2, the freshman from Cleveland, Tennessee. As Spencer knocks down the first free throw to tie the game.
Well, he may be a little inexperienced in this tournament. He brings something that no one else in the court has, and that's energy. He is as fresh as it can be.
LaSalle back in front. It's Fox left all alone in the corner, and he can't knock it down. Boy, that was a good look.
Excellent look, had plenty of time and room. And how important that shot may be, given the fact that they have gone deep in their bench and lost some of their key players due to fouling out.
Move the ball around the perimeter. Dees stops. Has no space. Kenny with a no-look feed for Kimbrough. New 20 on the shot clock. Kimbrough just goes back up and he scores, and it's a 3-point game.
Spence hit the nail on the head. A no-look feed from Kenny. Excellent pass. Great awareness. No one saw it coming, including Kimbrough, who got the ball.
You can see the legs of these players. They're getting tired. Fox drives in again. That's 3 misses in a row for Andre Fox. We're under a minute now, and the Jaguars need to stop. LaSalle can really apply the pressure with a bucket.
What a time it would be to go back to what you got started with, a 3-point shot to ice the game.
Dees drives in on Fox.
5
Looking
seconds.
down low, near turnover. Kimbrough couldn't finish. And here come the Jaguars. 3 seconds between shot and game clock, but they'll look to go quick. Fox inside, dumps it off, and Curry is blocked, but it stays with the Jaguars. And Richie Riley will use his final timeout.
22 seconds remaining on the clock. You see Fox drive in, leave it for Curry, who wasn't expecting it, I don't think.
McGee will be the trigger man. Mitchell, Curry, LeCure, and Fox. No timeouts. You've got to get the ball in bounds. They get it to Fox. He backs away, rises for 3, off the mark. The rebound to Kenny, and LeCure applies the foul. It's a free throw contest now.
I'm not sure that's what Richie Riley drew up. Fox got the ball, had a lot of pressure, gained a little separation, but a tough look, and it was close and had potential. But now you leave the game in the hands of LaSalle and their free throw shooting capabilities.
4 for 6 for Kenny from the line today, and he bounces the first one home.
With 15 seconds, that's enough time to go down the court and get a quick bucket and then go back to fouling. But if you're trailing 5, you've got to hit a 3 to start.
Kenny's second is true.
Now you're trailing 5.
Fox will drive in. Mid-range pull-up is good. That's a new career high for Andre Fox, 28 points. Jaguars need a steal.
Quick steal and an immediate foul.
They foul Kenny, who will head back to the free throw line. A 1 free throw here should just about ice it. Boy, both of these teams, they fought, and it looks like LaSalle is on the verge of a championship.
You can see it on their faces. They know it too. 5.8 seconds away.
Kenny knocks down 4 free throws. Here comes Fox, needs a 3, instead goes inside. The free throw shot offline, and the LaSalle Explorers are the 2019 Gulf Coast Showcase champions. They take down the South Alabama Jaguars in a thrilling overtime victory.